everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Flow with Flo. And of course, I am your host, Flo Chikawore. My guest for today is a very, very inspiring lady, and she goes by the name of Phillipa. Phillipa is, amongst other things, CEO and founder of RecruitMyMom and Recruiter Graduate. But before I go any further, let me give Phillipa a warm welcome. Welcome, Phillipa.
Thank you, Flo, and what an honor it is to be with you chatting today. Really looking forward to our discussion.
Yeah, no, me too. It's really lovely to have you on the show. And I was actually saying earlier that it's been a bit of a dream of mine to chat to you because I have watched your business grow from when I was a young mom myself. So your journey has really been very, very inspiring for me, and I'm sure for many out there.
Thank you, Flo. I really do appreciate it. And we really have journeyed, and it's so lovely to know that you've been part of my journey.
Absolutely. But before we go any further, I think let me give everyone a little bit more about who is Phillipa and what does your organization actually do. I have been looking here at, I snuck into your LinkedIn profile, of course, and there are a couple of very, very inspiring awards that you have received. And I may ask you to tell us a little bit about those too. I see EY Winning Women 2018. You were the winner of Women of the Future 2019, winner EOY Job Creator of the Year 2018, and F&B Innovation Award finalist. So that is a rack of awards. I think I might be seeing some of them behind you, but we'll go into those. And I just wanted to say from my side, congratulations on really putting women firmly on such an amazing footing, because every time you win, women out there win.
That is so right, Florence. So thank you. I completely agree with you that every time we win, it makes a mark out there about what we stand for. And I'm deeply honored by the awards that we've won. And most of the time, it's been awarded to us because of the positive social impact that RecruitMyMom has made. And I love that. So it isn't necessarily about me, it's about all of us and what RecruitMyMom stands for in the market. So yeah, it's been a real honor, and I'm very fortunate to have been given so many of the awards.
No, absolutely. And let's start from the beginning, shall we? So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's Phillipa, and what's Phillipa up to? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am a mum of two. Currently, my daughter is 17 and my son is 19. When I started RecruitMyMom, my daughter was in grade 000 and my son was in grade 1.
Wow.
And I was 40 at the time, actually. And there was so much going on in my life, and it was a very busy time. So anybody who thinks they can't do something when their kids are little, here's to that. You can, you absolutely can, if you've got a dream and a vision and a passion to do something. I'm married to a wonderful, wonderful man called Anthony. Have been married for 25 years. He honestly has been my greatest supporter through running this business. You can imagine that when you're running a business like RecruitMyMom and Recruiter Graduate, it can get quite chaotic in the home. And so we often don't have milk or we don't have bread in the house. And thankfully, he's understanding, and so are the kids, and we sort it out between us as a family. But I studied at UCT, born and bred in South Africa. Actually was in marketing for many years. Worked for a big FMCG company, both here and internationally. But always, Flo, had a passion for women. Even when I was at university, I would run women's groups. Always had the sense of wanting to see women step into their full confident selves. And I remember being at a dinner once in London with colleagues when I was working at the FMCG company that I was working for. and them asking if you could be anything. It was one of those dinner party icebreaker type questions. If you could be anything, what would you be? And at the time I said I would be a motivational speaker for women. Had no idea that in my future there would be something like Recruit My Mom. And so it's part of my DNA, I think, in terms of wanting to make a difference. So I live in the Western Cape, relocated from Josie, did many years in Josie, love Josie, but moved down for the outdoors of the Western Cape. And that's just me.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm still trying to absorb the you started Recruit My Mom when your kids were in triple naught and grade 1. I'm just picturing those ages and the years and how busy those ages are. And then for you to start the company at the same time. Wow, that's quite something. So I love what you're saying to women out there and to moms out there, that it's all possible, because you're living proof of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it is all possible. Flo. It's not always easy.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that those first 3 years of having started the business were very hard going on me. Because I was mom during the day, and then I was working like mostly in the nights. But the reality is that if you believe in something strongly enough, you will do what is required to get it going.
That's so
that's
true.
for anybody out there. Yeah.
No, you're quite right, Phillipa. And if I think about it, when my first son was about 3 or 4, I ventured into, in fact, he was younger. I ventured into a different line of business, and I became the distributor for Keto, the kids' clothing brand. It was Keto at Home. So I was the at-home distributor. And that was my first foray into business outside of consulting work. And what was so interesting was, there he was running around at a year old. He was probably a year old, and he became my little model. So I would dress him from top to bottom in the clothing, and moms would come for tea. I had tea parties. I even had a speed point because I happened to be in the right location for the brand. And I promise you, he was my model, and he'd run around and they'd say, can I order what he's wearing? But I learned to integrate him into my work. And he learned to just go along with it. So it was very interesting. And I did that until he was about 4 or 5 years old. So it's always possible. It's just about how you structure the support that you create around yourself. So I really love the story that you told. And tell us a little bit more about the business itself, about Recruit My Mom, Recruit a Grad. Where was your inspiration? At which point did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so Recruit My Mom is actually 10 this year. We celebrate 10 years. And so it was 10 years ago that we launched. And the inspiration came from, I was consulting. So like many moms, when you have your first child, you reconsider many times what it is that you're going to do about your career. And I wanted more flexibility. My son was very premature. He wasn't very well when he was born. And so I was looking for more flexibility. And so I left the corporate space and started to do consulting, which so many women do in order to find flexibility. But what I noticed was that so many women would say to me, I wish I could find something that had a bit more flexibility. But when I approach any of the recruitment agencies or any of the recruitment companies, they just won't take me seriously. And my CV either goes in the bottom drawer in the days of paper CVs, but nobody wants to employ me. And at the time, I was mortified because as a country, we desperately need really good skills. And we cannot be affording as a nation to have women stepping out of the workplace because of lack of flexibility. We need their skills in the economy. And for many women, they want to continue working. And like you used the word integrate, you integrated your son into your work. Is that many women want to be integrating it. And so I thought, surely there's a solution out there where I could bring companies together with all these amazing mothers. And I actually spent a lot of time before I launched Recruit My Mom on dating agents, Flo, to try and work out how to date companies to mothers.
That
I
is
was trying
so
to work out the
interesting.
mechanism.
Yes. That makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah. So I didn't really want to own a recruitment company at the time. I really wanted to kind of date, like set up a dating type site, but I was before my time. And I tried different models and that didn't work. And so we ended up in the recruiting model. But that was the thinking. And that's what inspired me. And then in 2019, Recruit My Mom was successful and up and running. I listened to a speech by President Cyril Ramaphosa on the plight of the youth in South Africa. And I was really moved to my core about, so what is the solution that each of us have for our youth? Because as a business owner, in the future, I want Recruit My Mom to exist and I need really good skills. And if we don't make a difference for these young people, where are we going to get really good skills to keep our businesses going? But not only that, how do we inspire them to want to go and study and learn and gain good skills? So I wanted to set out and do something. And I found it quite difficult to find an intern. I just, people said, no, go to the universities and ask them, or phone a college and ask them. Or I was like, I'm busy. I haven't got time to phone around. I just want to go online and I want to put in what I need and I want somebody back. And so I then white labeled Recruit My Mom. And the whole premise around Recruiter Graduate is we want to make it as easy as possible for companies to employ interns and graduates and not even have to think about whether they should or they shouldn't, because we want to try and get as many of them into the economy as possible. And so that's how I ended up with both Recruit My Mom and Recruiter Graduate.
Wow, that's an amazing purpose, behind the Recruiter Grad, and it's so, to your point, it's essential. And what I've also experienced, the funny thing is, when I worked within one of the big corporates, the financial institution, for my sins, I spent the 1 year recruiting. We recruited 60 young Black female technology graduates into the organization, 60 at the same time.
Wow.
And what was so interesting is just getting them through from all over the country. They came from as far as Limpopo. And it was such a humbling experience to get them not just into the organization, then to get them going, then to get them developing, then to build that confidence, there was so much that needed to happen, even once the recruitment had happened. And I'm just relating that experience, and I became their coach. I was like a mentor, coach, resident mommy. It was many things. It was it was a very, very humbling experience. And I learned so much from them. They learned from me, but I learned a lot from them. So, graduates I see them almost as like, they're like a blank paper, and corporates write on this paper, but what they write is so important. So yes, no, I could go on, but that's the coach in me talking now. So let's come back to
it. I love that. I love that. It's so true, and it's so vital. And in fact, we are now partnering with a partner that assists companies even with the onboarding, because we recognize that part is so important. It's not just about the recruiting, it's about the onboarding. And so we've actually even started to offer, how do you assist people to onboard them? They're inspiring and grateful, and we love working with these young people. They're wonderful.
That's awesome. And tell me something, in your experience and in all the years that you've now run the combination of Recruit My Mom, Recruit Grad, what are some of the biggest learnings you've had in terms of running the business? Because there's so many women entrepreneurs out there, doing their thing and sometimes not quite sure whether they're on the right track, but they keep going. What were the biggest learnings for you, or some of them?
Flo, there are many lessons to be learned in running a business. And I will talk to them in terms of personal and then business. So personally, one of the biggest lessons that I have learned over time is and it took me a couple of years, and I think I still am learning this lesson, is that one has to choose self-belief over self-doubt every day. There are so many levels of complexity involved in a business, in running a business, and so many elements that one can become overwhelmed with, that if you live in a place of self-doubt, you would absolutely not be able to thrive. And so every day you've got to get up and you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your team. You've got to believe in your vision, your passion. And for me, I'm a person of faith. So I wake up every morning and I believe that God is with me. So that's some of the personal major lessons that I have had to learn over time is you can't live in any place other than self-belief around everybody around you. And then from a business point of view, is just that there are no rules. There's lots to read, there's lots to take in, but there are no rules. And so one needs to forge one's own path. And you can learn a lot from other people, and one should learn a lot from other people. But at the end of the day, it's your life. And it's your passion, it's your vision for your business. Yeah. And when you are clear on what that looks like, it makes it a lot easier for everybody else. And I am so fortunate to have a team of the most incredible women that work for me, largely because they buy into the passion and the purpose that we have as a company. Yeah. So we're very purpose-driven. It really is about making a difference in the lives of women and youth. And that just is wonderful. And yes, there are layers of complexity. Yes, it's difficult at times. But at the end of the day, it is worthwhile. Yeah. And you've just got to forge your own path. So those are some of my lessons.
Those are some powerful lessons there. I especially love what you said about surrounding yourself with a team that shares your purpose, shares the passion. Because you need other people to support you in running a business. And I think sometimes with entrepreneurs, we are so focused on where we want to go, we sometimes don't take as much time with the team surrounding us. We just know where we want to go. So that's really, really helpful, I think, feedback for women out there who are running their businesses and doing their thing. And I also love what you say about choose self-belief over self-doubt every day. The every day is particularly important because there are days, even with myself, there are days I wake up and I think, oh, okay. And I take a deep breath and I go, right, the day must begin.
That is right. And that's when we get up and we put on our work clothes and we put on our makeup and we pitch up, right?
We pitch up.
Yeah, and that's important. And I think you just mentioned it, about being an entrepreneur is that something we're really good at is vision and seeing where we want to go. Yes. And what I've also had to learn is I need to remember that I need to be able to break that down in order to bring people along with me, because otherwise I can run ahead.
That is
and
true.
People don't get where you're going because you see it sometimes long before other people see it. And so to be able to bring your team along with you is quite an art. I'm not sure that I've completely mastered it.
What do they say? Every day is a new day, and every day is a new chance to continue with that journey.
Absolutely.
No, I love that. I really, really do. And the other aspect I was just wondering about was if you look back at your journey to date, memorable moments, 1 or 2 memorable moments, what would those be?
Yeah. So one of my most memorable moments was in 2013. So we went live in 2012. That's when the site was basically opened. And I remember every month, we would celebrate, we've got 20 new moms, and then we went to 40 new moms, and, we were clocking up. So just out of context, we in context now is that we have nearly 140,000 moms on our database now, Flos. So this is now in the beginning, you kind of like, we got to 20. Oh, we got to 40. You're kind of climbing up in terms of how many people you have. And in 2013, we were nominated for a Cape Talk Small Business Award.
Wow.
And suddenly people were talking about Recruit My Mom on the radio. And it was like the website got its own life.
Wow.
We just started to see things happening. And it really transformed the business from something that was ticking on in the 10s and the 20s to suddenly we were in the hundreds. And we actually went all the way through to being a finalist. We didn't win it, but we were a finalist that year. And as a result of that, we got a lot of radio exposure. And that then gave me the confidence to actually start radio advertising.
Wow.
And that's actually a large part of Recruit My Mom's success was then we started, we had all this momentum behind the website, and that got us going. So that was definitely one of my memorable moments of, just seeing this little tiny idea start transitioning into something big. And then the second one was when we won Job Creator of the Year with the Entrepreneurial of the Year awards, and being called out specifically for being recognized as having created a whole sector of work for skilled mothers.
Yeah.
And so this recognition of this company went out and created something that didn't exist before for skilled mothers. And it was a very powerful moment for us, that recognition of being Job Creator of the Year that year. And then we then went on to win the Sometime Fair Lady Woman of the Future Award, which was also just another incredible moment of recognition of the positive social impact that we'd made on women in South Africa.
Yes.
And the reason why I probably call those out as memorable moments is because you work so hard in your business, and you work so hard at do. You're very task driven, is that you rarely stop to look back to see where you've come from. And in those moments of having won these awards, it was a moment for all of us as a team to stop and reflect and go, guys, look, we actually did this. And those moments are very powerful because one doesn't do it very often for oneself. And so for other people to do that for you was incredible. And then there are other memorable moments of receiving emails from women where we've just touched their lives.
I was about to go there. I was actually about to ask you that, to say some of these stories of women's lives you've touched. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so, we're fortunate in that, people do feel that they can approach us and write to us. And we would get emails or, anything on social media where a woman would say, I just want to thank Recruit My Mom because I've been out of work for however many years, and I just had no confidence, and I was treated with so much respect by the recruitment managers, and I went for the interview. They coached me through the interview and I got the job. And, I can't believe that I'm here, just almost seeing that transition in a woman's journey, because we understand and we get it. We understand the journey. So that, and then a woman being inspired to start their own companies because of Recruit My Mom. So having seen what we've done and what we stand for, and talking about the benefits of Recruit My Mom. And then they write to us and say, because of what you stood for, I couldn't get a job through you because, we obviously can't give jobs to everybody, but it encouraged me to then start my own business. And now I'm running this. And then we've got this amazing story of a mom who works as an independent contractor for us, because we have many independent contractors that work for us. And her business grew so big through us that she then was employing other women to help her with her business. And
that
so we were
is
able
incredible.
to start to see other businesses flourishing because of us, and us being able to pass word to other women.
That is so incredible. Wow. And I actually put here, I wrote a hashtag down as you were talking. I was like, you guys are all about changing lives. You're actually changing lives. And not only the woman's life, but everyone behind her. So her family. So, they always say when you help a woman, you're helping an entire extended family. It's not just the person. And that is changing lives. The children behind their parents and grandparents and all sorts. So it's so heartwarming when you explain it this way, and I still can't get over, Phillipa, I can't get over the from 20 to 140,000 moms on the database. I was like, wow, it's absolutely incredible. It really, really is. And I'm pretty sure this number is just going to keep growing, right?
Yeah, we do. We grow. Yeah, we pretty much have been growing steadily. We do grow every month that we do grow. It's an indication of there are job seekers, because at the end of the day, that's what we do. We're looking for jobs. So that's a lot of job seekers. But there are other women who join our journey just because we put out a lot of inspirational stuff. We're about bringing hope to people where there has been no hope. And so they just be part of our journey. But Flo, something that you said about impacting an extended family is that the United Nations recognizes that if you can alleviate poverty amongst women, you alleviate poverty in an entire nation.
Wow!
And that's because women tend to share the economic wealth that they have with others, and that's what we do. We're really trying to impact a nation through impacting women and lives.
And what you're saying is it's so true. It's so powerful. And I think the other aspect which you touched on, which I just want to tap into, is the power of the recruiter. So you said something very profound. You said when the women feel valued, they feel that they were treated well. And do you know that is not an obvious thing in recruitment agencies at all? So the power of the recruiter is something that the way you say it now, you really see how a recruiter can make the difference between whether the person feels shattered afterwards or whether the person has confidence to keep going.
Yeah. And it's a fine line that one walks on, because it's not easy to ever reject somebody who hasn't got a job.
True.
And people internalize that a lot. But one of our values is treat everyone with respect. And so whether you're a candidate looking for a job or you're a client looking to hire, at RecruitMyMom, everybody is expected to treat everybody with respect. And that's because we understand that journey, that's why we started. And as we've grown, we desperately trying to not lose that touch, and that's why the people that we recruit really do need to understand that and and that's important.
Yes. Yeah. To remain a caring business.
Yeah, absolutely. To keep that care in place. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's incredible. And I just, I'm loving this conversation, but I also know, it can't go on forever and ever, but I'd love for it to. I have maybe a one or two closing questions for you. And the first one, I guess, is if you were to give, other women in business something as a takeaway. So you've given a lot of lessons learned. Anything that you would want to close off with in terms of a takeaway for moms out there running around trying to do their thing, what would that be?
So first of all, I want you to know that you are valuable, and don't let anybody ever take away from your value. And if you're a mom at home and you haven't been in the workplace, then it's normal to not have your confidence intact. You're amongst good company. That's how everybody feels when they're re-entering the workplace. But just know that the minute you step back into whatever it is that you want to do, it'll all come back. and whatever's holding you back, don't let it hold you back. And then for those who are in the workplace that are trying to find either more flexibility or considering starting their own businesses, there's always a balance between the economic need and then the personal need. And one needs to use a lot of wisdom in deciding which one's, what's more important at the time. And I would never in this economic environment recommend that somebody just pack up a job and start up their own business. Really, if you're relying on that paycheck every month, then rather don't do that. Rather start your business on weekends or in evenings or whatever, but don't give it up yet. But follow your heart and follow your passion. And it's that conviction of purpose that will get you through the dark days. And when you are touching lives and other people's lives, it really is what gets you up in the morning and what enables you to keep going. So when you're thinking about this talk, what I would love you to think about is in your heart of hearts, which group of people do you have a soft spot for that you really want to go and make a change for? Because that's where you'll find your purpose and your passion. And invariably, it's in touching the lives of other people that you find your passion and your purpose. And so I would just encourage you in it, and know that you're not alone. This journey is full of incredible women doing amazing things. This is my story. You haven't heard all the struggles and all the hardship that went into it, but this is my story. But you have your story to tell. And the sooner you start writing it, the better.
Wow, that's some golden nuggets and incredible advice there. Thank you so much, Phillipa, for just really imparting all this wisdom. And I can hear it comes from a very deep part of you. And for that, we can only say thank you.
Thank you, Flo. And thank you for creating the space to share these stories. What a delight to be able to chat to you today. I think what you're doing is amazing. And I go from strength to strength and keep doing it, because these stories are important and they encourage. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Phillipa. And just one last question. Where do people find you if they'd like to reach out to you? Where should they go?
Yeah, so if you're a job seeker for any reason, please just go to our websites. It's www.recruitmymom.co.za or www.recruitergraduate.co.za. We're on Instagram, RecruitMyMom. And then I'm on LinkedIn, I'm Phillipa.geared on LinkedIn. We also have a Recruit My Mom and Recruiter Graduate LinkedIn, and we also have a Recruit My Mom Facebook. So any of those handles will work. But my personal LinkedIn is Phillipa.geared. That's
awesome. And thank you so much for your generosity. And it's easy to find you guys, clearly. So for that, I appreciate. And Phillipa, just from me, please have a blessed day. I hope Cape Town is a little bit warmer and less rainy at the moment. And I would just like to say once again, thank you so much. And I look forward to continuing to follow your journey and to get inspired. And I'm sure many, many, many young women will be inspired after listening to what you've had to say today. So from me, thank you so much.
Thank you, Flo. And likewise, I look forward to following your inspirational journey.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And to everyone out there, thank you for joining us today. And this is obviously not the last that you will be hearing from the show or watching or following the show. So I would just like to say thank you for joining us today, and stay blessed. And remember to keep flowing, to keep moving, to keep going. We are not done with this life just yet. Thanks, everyone. Bye.